We need to talk about Doofus. Doofy on camera. Oh. So the annoying thing is that, it was never my idea to get a dog. It was the ex's idea to get a dog, who had never had a dog before. I've grown up with dogs, so I kind of know what a handful they can be. So when we got the dog, I said to him, why do you want a dog? And he said, well, to keep you company. Like I was like some 80-year-old with a blanket on my knees that needed a small animal to keep me company. The really annoying thing is now now I am single again. I actually do need him to keep me company. God, I hate it when other people are right. Oh, it's so annoying. But the great thing is, at least I have him. So we are now taking an adventure to another country with Doofy. So we got Doofus 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago. He's 4.5 now. We got him from Mayhew Rescue Centre in North London, who were brilliant. They were quite reluctant to hand him over, mainly because of his breed, and they didn't know where he was from or who he was. His whole litter was there. There's 4 of them, 4 puppies. So we picked him up when he was 9 weeks old. Obviously hasn't had enough time with his mum, and also the care home, the rescue centre likes to de-ball them before they go out into the world again, because they don't want any more puppies coming there. So he was given the chop a little too soon as well. So there's a couple of issues with our Doof, bless him. He's a huge character though. My sister compares him to Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders, because he's got that strut, and he's quite pretty to look at, but he's got some underlying issues. And you don't really want to mess with him in a pub. Don't spill his pint. Doesn't like it. But I think once we move to Spain, I think having a dog, and it's the same in London as well, I think having a dog does help you connect with other people. So I'm going to hopefully connect with some dog walking groups. Some, you always meet people in the parks and places when you have a dog. It's a social connection, despite the fact that Doofy doesn't make friends well. Do you? To get him to Spain, because we're now not in the EU anymore, his old pet passport, which we used once to go to France, is no longer relevant. So what we now have to do is, he's had his rabies jab, and then a few days before we get on the ferry, he has to go to the vet here in Clapham, just have a health check, and they do loads of paperwork, just to say that yes, he's a healthy dog and he can travel and he's had all his jabs and all that malarkey. The other thing is, when we get to Spain, because he is a bull breed dog, he's a cross between American Staffy and British Staffy. He's on the bad dog list in Spain, which means that he has to wear a muzzle kind of all the time, even walking down the street. And you do see them complying to that when you're in Spain. It's just a precaution, I suppose, and I don't want him getting into trouble out there. So I don't mind him wearing a muzzle. He's used to it. He's worn one here, quite a few times. So that's not really a big deal, but that's just something I have to remember. Hey, is that it? Have you got anything to say? Would you like to say anything to the camera? Speak to the camera. No? Should we go for walkies? Yeah, we're gonna go walkies now. We're gonna go walkies now. I am gonna miss the British countryside though. Even though, this woods is right in the middle of Wandsworth. You'd never guess you're in London. I mean, even though the place I'm moving to is super beautiful, there is something about a British woodland that is so unique. So I'm going to be getting used to more mountainous, dry, although there are lots of kind of like these clear pools and places to swim in actually near me, in Onteniente, which we certainly don't have here, so there is that. Other thing I need to find out about, which I am slightly concerned about, is just the difference in kind of bugs and creepy crawlies and wildlife you get out there, because I'm following all these posts on Facebook, all these local groups in Onteniente, and the vets put up a warning recently that there's these toxic hairy caterpillars that can kill your dog like really quickly. So I'm thinking, oh my god, there's going to be a whole set of beasties I need to be aware of. And I don't want him getting sick. He's actually, touch wood, being a super healthy little dog. 10 minutes, give him 10 minutes in a new country, I bet you will be down the vets. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I am wondering how different it's going to be walking the dog. Just simply walking the dog in Spain. Because there's like different etiquette. Like not that anybody is aware of it, but there's kind of a unspoken etiquette with dog owners. Most of them ignore it, to be fair, in London. When do you put them on the lead? When do you take them off the lead? Do you let them rush up to other dogs? All that kind of stuff. And I know, just by observing people with their dogs in Spain, they do seem to handle them differently. Not better or worse, just slightly differently. Where are you, Dee? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a stick? Or do you want a ball? Oh, it's a ball. So the other thing I've noticed about the local area of Onteniente is there are quite a few dog rescue centres. I think there's a lot more strays. We don't really get strays in the UK, so there's going to be a lot more dogs on the streets, I think. Certainly just by looking at the Facebook posts of, can you rescue this dog? Does anybody know this dog? A lot more a lot more abandoned dogs, I think, which means I'm probably going to end up adopting thousands of dogs. Cats I'm not so into. Don't mind a cat, but not more than one. Dogs, however, might just have a small collection by the end of the year. I was going to think about volunteering at these dog rescue centres in Spain, because I'm not technically allowed to work or earn money in the first year because of my visa. So I was going to do some volunteering just to help with the language as well. Although I think some of these rescue places might be English, but anyway, stuff like that, which will help the language, but also means I'm just going to adopt tons of dogs, which Doofy will hate. Those are my slightly irrational and paranoid concerns about taking Doofy to Spain. It's all going to be fine, isn't it?